sitting in the remembrance of our individuality as a frequency. That each one of us, although connected to the whole of one vibrational source, each one of us is operating in vibration to our own current and thus emanating that frequency. And yet, even within that frequency of our own unique individuality, there are multiple streams of vibration. And so what I wanted to speak to is specifically around emotion. And what I often find, especially in a world full of people really getting clear, I'm a creator, I create my reality, thus I create my vibration, I do this thing. And yet I observe a lot of people unable and unwilling to hold denser frequencies or vibrations within them, almost throwing them out, calling them bad, making them wrong. We could look at things like anger or rage. And I'm not speaking to the impulsive part of us that projects them out, meaning that we experience them and then inside and then out in the outer world, everyone can see that we're actually having that outer experience of what's going on in our inner world. That absolutely could be part of it too. That for me is one step further, but just the awareness that this thing, these feelings, these emotions specifically are arising within, to remind us here, right, that it's important that we allow every experience that we feel to be present, because one, it's authentic, it is true, that's what is in that moment. And also to remind us, and this feels like the really, for me, important facet of that is, even if we are vibrating this thing called, let's say, anger inside of us, when we bring our awareness to, oh, there's anger, and we allow, the vibration of allowing is greater than the frequency of anger. And we can transpose anger with something else. Allowing opens us up to a bigger frequency inside. And that's really important for us to be able to see, so that we get how powerful we are to actually allow to give ourselves space, because we can, around this thing, right? There's this thing that's happening. There's no denial that this thing is happening. We don't even have to look at it like what's going on. We don't have to investigate. We don't have to bring ourselves into the story of this either. We can if we want, but we can just say, oh, look, there is this feeling. It's okay that that feeling's there. In this case, anger. It's okay that there's anger present. And it's okay that I continue operating. Let's say I'm, my experience is we can hold many different vibrations simultaneously, not just it's this or this. So like, if I have anger, I can't hold this frequency. I actually find that that's not true. So when we're in anger, then we can recognize that we're actually greater than that anger too, and stay in the bigger field. Anger, depression, rage, lack of acceptance, all of that can actually be present as we get bigger into the space of holding. And I know I've said this like 5 or 6 times already, but you can tell how valuable for me I feel that is, that we get as creators. We're not denying the existence of something. We're also not condemning it. We're not making it bad. We're not making it wrong, right? Because in the moment that we see it and we can't experience it, we now have aversion, we've repressed it, we've denied it its existence or its okayness to be there, that becomes the future challenge for us to reconcile the why it can't be there, right? Especially if we are aware of the power that we're given to transform everything into something else. We are given an alchemical superpower to transform any vibration into something else, even if it were a subtle, ecstatic vibration. We notice that the longevity of these, that life will carry vibrations in whatever it is, that being in ecstasy, which I personally have had an experience of living in a state of ecstasy for over a month in my early years at 22, I was. So it's possible to have a relationship with certain states, but at some point it transforms into something else. We are living embodiments of change. So to allow these things within us to coexist in the large field and continually see us as that unified field, this is bringing our awareness, our field into the small thing, and instead of making us this thing, it's kind of fun, this thing, we become bigger, we become greater. And it's not even that we become, we recognize that we are this. And so when we're here, we don't hold on to it. We like, oh, look, there's that, but I'm here, right? So staying in the larger consciousness of ourselves, we have that grace, right? To not get trapped. So thank you. I hope that this was in service to all of you, if not some of you. And thank you so much for being with me.